Plus for some mid-season Big Ten volleyball. The Michigan Wolverines come into town here at Coralville, Iowa, here at the Extreme Arena to battle the Iowa Hawkeyes. I'm Joe Keller with my partner Colin Carithers in the
rebuild, and already only 4 losses, all the Big Ten, all but one to a Big Ten school. I mean, Michigan has found themselves in a rhythm. They've found a way to collaborate between each other as teammates, but also between coaching staff and players, and that's something that you can struggle a little bit, especially with both on Iowa's side and Michigan's side, a bit of a younger coaching staff. Jim Barnes is only in his 3rd year with Iowa. As we mentioned, Erin Virtue in her 2nd year with Michigan. As they go a little bit closer in time, it takes a little bit extra to try to build that chemistry, but they've had success in the past at other places. Erin Virtue was a part of this Final Four team when she was in their first stint with Michigan. Jim Barnes successful at Tulane. They know how to get this team up and going, and they've already been quick to find that chemistry.
They definitely have. And both these teams, like you said, kind of in the rebuilding process, building up towards more. This game, it's only in the middle of the season, but still, it feels like there's a huge impact on this game. Both seasons can change drastically. If you win this one, you get some momentum. You know you just beat a solid team in the Big Ten. So this is a big game to get. And Michigan will start with the serve. Be hit over by the Hawkeyes. Gabby Geary putting over. Now Michigan's with a big spike there. Returned by Iowa. And Gabby Geary yet again going at it. Kept up by Michigan. There's their hit. Gallus digs it out. A little tap over. Just inside the pull for the outside the pull for the Hawkeyes, lands out, and Michigan gets the first point of the game.
Well, what we were just talking about there, Joel, in the open, that defense there for Iowa attacking those outside hitters, they were just, a little bit of a mishap there, but something we can note as we go along.
Ella Dimitrition with the serve for the Wolverines. Now a big hit from the back. That'll land in. What a hit. That ball finding the very back line for the Wolverines. And now quickly up to a 2-0 lead. And Dimitrition serve into the net. So the Hawkeyes get their first point on a service error.
We see a few different things there from Michigan on their attacks there. Obviously, some great outside hitters. Iowa was doing well with the block on that first point. So what do they go to in the second point? Some misdirection using that back row attack. They can open up the defense a lot with that.
Olivia Lombardi serving for the Hawkeyes there. And we will get a whistle, an error on the Hawkeyes. Wolverines go up 3-1.
An attack error there for Iowa. Believe that was maybe Rosa Vesti, and she just got a little too close to the net there.
So Michigan will take it now. Be tapped over by Vesti, but Michigan keeping it alive. Gallus sets it up for Vesti, blocked, stays in, returned by Lombardi. Vesti again, this time able to get it through.
Real good rally there from Iowa to keep it alive because Michigan's defense was looking good. They read Rosa Vesti's first attack like a book. They had it the whole way. Their communication was there, but that time communication a little bit late, and that's why Vesti gets the point.
Now Wolverines trying to get that point back. They'll set it up for their outside hitter, Allison Jacobs. And it's a diving effort by Valentina Valle, but not able to get to it. Iowa ties this thing right back up at 3.
That's what you need when you fall behind. I know it's only 2-0, but we mentioned the first set, and the beginning of a set is still that much more important. Good for them to tie it up.
Jacobs, this time blocked by the Hawkeyes. That was Hannah Whittingstall and Rosa Vesti making them block on the star outside hitter. The Hawkeyes have their first lead of the day, now up 4-3. And the serve from Gallus. Michigan trying the other side, but this time blocked by Michelle Urquhart.
Well, one thing to note for Iowa so far, I know we keep mentioning how important the first set is, but I think they realize it too. Their energy is up right now. They have a lot of confidence in themselves, and they're playing within themselves as well.
Looking to continue to run of the Hawkeyes, but a big hit there by Serena Yambio for their answer for the Wolverines. Morgan Burke now will serve it over. A little miss hit there by Olivia Lombardi, and Michigan will tie this back up at 5.
You said Lombardi was trying to set it to that front row in the middle so they could go for the outside hitter for the attack there, but instead, just as you mentioned, Joel misreading it.
Rosa Vesti going to the outside part of the court, and she will find that light gray area on the floor for the big point. It'll be Vesti now going from getting the kill to serving for the Hawkeyes. She'll get it over in the net. Michigan returning it. Setting up, big hit, but blocked. Hannah Whittingstall yet again.
Wow, that one there from Serena Nyambo really had a lot of power behind it. That could have been dangerous for the Hawkeyes, but they've been talking a lot. That chatter comes from their energy they've come out with in this first set, and that's why they're able to get these few extra points.
Vesti's serve just gets over the net, and it's tapped up. But Iowa able to keep it alive. The big hit, out of bounds. Michigan will get the point.
That's a time where your bench can help you. You have a 7th member on the court with you because Michigan was ready to return, but that entire bench there from Michigan yelling to get out of the way and let that one fly way out.
Now Allison Jacobs will serve for the Wolverines. Vesti sends it out. Hawkeyes think it might have tipped off of a Wolverine, but it does not look like they're going to look at it.
No, I don't really know if it did. I think Vesti just got a little underneath it, and again, that might just be with a little bit of that inexperience that we've talked about.
Hawkeyes return to serve. It's Urquhart blocked, but Iowa able to keep it alive. Vesti from the back. Now it's Michigan's turn to respond. Set up well. Big hit. Michigan retakes the lead off of Ella Dimitrition's kill.
A good recovery there from Michigan because Serena for the Wolverines had a good look there but was way too early on. They could have let the entire rally die there, but instead get back in position on defense and set up for that outside hit.
Iowa now trying to go the opposite way that they've been working, but it will just be tapped out of bounds. Michigan now on a little bit of a run. Now they got a 2-point lead here, 9-7.
You mentioned a little bit of run, 4-0 scoring run from Michigan. A little bit back and forth here at the start, but Michigan could really start the pull away here in this first set.
Iowa trying to get a big hit there. Hannah Whittingstall with the kill.
And a really interesting kill there from Whittingstall, Joel, because something about Hannah Whittingstall, when she's on the outside, she kind of puts some spin on the ball pretty much every single time. And with that there, that's why it bounced it off so out of the direction for Michigan and, of course, back in the stands.
Iowa now back looking to score. And point Hawkeyes.
Another attack error on Michigan, and already 4 errors for both teams. That's adding up very quickly. We're still not even the double digits on either side in the first set.
Both teams making the errors, so now they seem really benefiting from it. From Michigan there, getting the response and retaking this lead.
And I'm going to go ahead and correct myself. I think it's 4 attack errors for Iowa, 3 for Michigan. So had an extra one there for Michigan, but still a big number nonetheless.
Definitely right. It's been the story of this game so far. Both teams looking to clean it up. It'll be Mira Chopra for Michigan serving it, and a great serve. Too much to handle for Joey Gauss.
That's a beautiful ace there from the Wolverines because Joy Gauss is phenomenal there with the digs, and usually she's going to pick that one up and return it the other way, but instead not able to. Joy Gallus, second in the Big Ten with digs at 309 on the year. Kind of surprised she didn't get to that.
Gallus gets to that one, though. Sets up Iowa for a big hit. Blocked by the Wolverines. Now again, Gabby Deary. Wolverines save it. Good tap over by Demetrician, and now a block. Up at the net, Demetrician and Jackie Boney.
That's a little situation where you want Malou Garcia, as we mentioned, out with the suspension. That's the thing she does well. She comes up behind it a little bit more than Gabby Deary did right there.
Whittingstall with the answer.
And that's an exact situation where you want Whittingstall, because she flies a little bit towards the outside a little bit quicker than I think anyone does for this Iowa team. Of course, they've got a lot of talent there on the outside hitters. That's why they've flown more in that position instead of using that inside hit like they did last season. But Whittingstall, the speed to get to that ball was pretty much the only and most important factor to getting that kill.
Hannah Whittingstall, the sophomore, transferred from SMU. Like you said, having a great start to the day so far. So Michigan will look to answer off that one. A big hit there, tipped off of Iowa. But Ella Demetrician yet again with the response.
Again, just a little bit of inexperience for Rosa Vesey. This is only her 5th match of the season, first start. And, well, she read that ball the entire time there. But a little bit of miscommunication. She didn't know if Michelle Urquhart was going to go for it. That's why Vesey was a step behind it and wasn't able to bring it back up on the dig.
Yeah, there's going to be those growing pains when you're playing in your first true minutes of the season. Now Michigan looking to extend their lead, but we have a service error. Stepped over the line on her serve. Iowa will get the point.
And that's something you really don't see at all, Joel. I can't even say I've seen it this year yet because these players on both sides are so practiced in that, so experienced that they're not used to it. It's just out of rhythm for them.
Michigan looking to make up for the error there, and they do. It's Demetrician yet again. Ella Demetrician having a great day so far with her 3rd kill already.
And sure, Iowa was able to, quote-unquote, bring that ball back up, of course, right into the net. Took an awkward angle off it, but Demetrician found it a little bit of an open area and a spot to where will it land right on the floor? No, but would Iowa be able to return it cleanly? Absolutely not, and that's exactly what we saw.
Iowa trying to respond. The big hit tipped up by Michigan. Gabby Deary trying again, blocked. This time by Jackie Boney. Instead of leaning on Allison Jacobs, Michigan's leaning on Ella Demetrician, the freshman from Appleton, Wisconsin. And she came into Michigan ranked as the #1 prospect from Wisconsin and has been outstanding this October. She tallied her first double-double with 11 kills in 12 digs on October 5th against UCLA. And just recently against Wisconsin, recorded 10 kills in 7 digs. And she already has 3 kills today. She has been outstanding on helping Michigan get this lead and keep this lead.
Yeah, and if you're a Michigan Wolverines fan, you have to be ecstatic to see that. Of course, Allison Jacob is incredible. You want to see her do well, but obviously the scouting report is her. Look at her, block her, attack her, know where she's at on the court. To have someone else to lean on and get those extra points, Iowa's going to have to really rely on every single thing, and instead of kind of pressuring one person, they got to go one-on-one.
And we are back underway. Big point for the Wolverines as they come out of the break with a 16-11 lead now. Demetrician again, serving for the Wolverines. And another big point. Jackie Boney, this time with the kill. Typically, Jim Barnes for the Hawkeyes is able to get his team going after timeouts, but Michigan is making a statement here. They're trying to run away with this first set. Gabby Deary now looking. Michigan responds in a good little pushover by Morgan Burke.
Yeah, Yeah, you mentioned running away with it, especially after timeouts, as Iowa takes another one. An ugly start out of that timeout where you mentioned it, Joel. They're usually pretty good coming out of those, but, yeah, not really there. Iowa doesn't look good here for them in their first set. They're 2-10 when they lose the first set. So if you're a Michigan fan, yet again, you got to love what you're seeing. You got to love the chances that you're up by 7 in the first set, and well, Iowa doesn't have a good track record when they lose the first set, so you got to feel good coming into the second and third set no matter what things look like. I mean, we could get fooled, obviously, no matter what, whether it's by the stats we're saying here, whether by the play on the court, but just having that internal feeling of, yeah, we've got a big advantage on Iowa right now, or that we have the confidence that we can come out and instead of just going back and forth, regroup and pull away as quickly as they have after the start was just Iowa had a lead, Michigan had a lead, Iowa had a lead, that back and forth game.
You're definitely right, and Iowa's got to get going here. It's very important in the first set for the Hawkeyes, and now they find themselves in a 7-point hole. But Michigan, you got to keep the pedal to the metal. You cannot get comfortable with this lead. And they have been leaning on not really Allison Jacobs. She has yet to get a kill today. It's been all these other players from Michigan up and down the board getting at Iowa.
Well, that's the other thing with when we talk about demonstration there. Allison Jacobs had a look or two at the very beginning of the set, and immediately it was blocked. It's that same idea of who's the scouting report? Allison Jacobs. So they're going the other people. They're using that back row attack like we saw on that second point of the set, but instead of just mixing up with different players in the back row and different ways to attack, they're finding everyone to be incorporated. So this Iowa defense is completely spread out and out of position.
So we come out of this timeout like the last timeout. Demetrition serving and Demetrition getting the ace.
So a very important ace there for Michigan again. Iowa coming out of their second timeout. Of course, you want to get the point out of timeout. You've already pulled away. Can you just shut them down early?
Big hit returned by Michigan and Allison Jacobs. Her attempt is blocked, but a big block by Jacobs, returning the favor on Rosa Vesti. Michigan now up 20-11.
Jacobs might not have a kill today, but journeying around has her first block of the evening.
And the serve this time going just a bit far, so the Hawkeyes stop the run after a 6-0 run for the Wolverines.
And for Iowa there, just to get that ball back is so important. Of course, they're down by 8 right now, but these are times where they can have a good run with their server.
Allison Jacobs will just have to throw it back over. Now Iowa setting up their offense. A big spike just hitting the top of the net. Gracie Gibson for the Hawkeyes.
And this is where Iowa can start the climb. In the past, they've done it before. As we mentioned, not only down by 7, it's a big climb they have to make, but Olivia Lombardi, a server, can definitely do it.
It's a game of runs. And Michigan looking to stop Iowa before they can make one, and they will.
Just another instance of miscommunication there for Iowa. Rosa Vesti and Gracie Gibson had no idea where that ball was off Michelle Urquhart, and she didn't let him know either.
And Maddie Cochran getting in on the action, a big ace there. Another timeout on the court for the Hawkeyes. This will be their second timeout of the set, and they see themselves in a 9-point hole.
You have energy when you're down by currently 9 points in the first set, which is, we mentioned a few times, is monumental. That's not going to help you whatsoever, and that's something you've got to address with your team.
And doing it all without their star rising freshman, Malou Garcia. It's going to be a tough way to battle back. And now Michigan, they're getting Allison Jacobs more involved. She just got her first kill. So it looks like they're trying to finish it off right here. Take the set by a commanding lead and continue to roll.
Yeah, they're definitely taking advantage of Malou Garcia not playing today for Iowa. And you got to think the impact she has not being on the floor. Former Under Armour All-American in high school, missing in action today.
Michigan will start it off here. And a big answer, Gracie Gibson. Let's see if the Hawkeyes can get something rolling.
Now only an 8-point lead, but Gibson there on the inside. Good to see that there from Iowa, finding their old roots instead of relying on the outside there, which has not worked much at all today.
Michigan trying to just push it over into the middle, but Iowa able to recover. And the big hit from Michelle Urquhart, bouncing off the Michigan defender's hands and out of bounds. The serve from Gallus will get over, and Michigan will try a big spike there, but not going to happen, but they will be able to recover. Now Rosa Vesey, her shot's going to just go long.
Another one there from Rosa Vesey where she just gets a little bit under it. Her swing is just a little late, and with that she tries to make up for it by going a little bit low, but instead pushes it a little too far.
Urquhart now picked up by Michigan, off to the near side. It'll just be tapped over by Jacobs. Battle at the net. Falls on Hawkeye side, Urquhart. Picked up again by Burke. Set up for Jacobs. The big hit, dug out by Gallus. Urquhart, yet again. This time, just a bit out.
That's a point you really want to capitalize on if you're Iowa, and then you just miss the mark. Gallus makes a great dig there. They're composed on defense, and they just weren't able to bring it up on offense.
Burke will serve for the Wolverines, and now Urquhart yet again. This time she's got it. Iowa going right back to Michelle Urquhart. Back and back again.
See on Urquhart's face, she wanted to bury that one. After previously sending it a little too far, she wanted to make sure that one was down.
So quick back and forth there for the Hawkeyes, but they are down to their last point that they can give up. Michigan on that set point here, and just tapped over by the Wolverines. It's Valentina Valle finishing off. Wolverines take set one here, where Michigan took game one by a commanding lead. We saw it go back and forth for a bit until we hit about halfway through the set, where Michigan able to pull it away and go on a big run. Colin, what does Michigan have to do to continue this momentum here in set number two?
I mean, just stay composed. I mentioned it in the first set there in a few breaks. Michigan made a lot of mistakes. They had a few attack errors. They mishit on a few balls. They didn't hit their spots exactly, but what they were able to do was recover, get back in position, be set, and not worry about Iowa working too quickly or play Iowa's game. They were able to stay composed within themselves, and that's credit to the head coach, Aaron Virtue, who's not letting them panic. And you got to think that's something from practice where they've worked in fast-paced environments and now get to slow down on the court.
Now Iowa will have to battle back here. Claire Amaral will start us off here in set number two. Michigan trying to swing it over, but Iowa will get the point on what I believe will be an attack error.
I mean, no matter what, a point is a point, but you don't want to rely on just the attack errors, especially that's only fourth for Michigan.
Here comes Michigan. A big hit from Boney. Picked up by the Hawkeyes. They'll fling it on the Wolverine side, and Ella Dimitrishi was there to send her home.
Well, there's why you don't want to rely on the attack errors if you're Iowa. Michigan has the talent. They proved it to you in the first set. And then they prove it again there with that point. They have a lot of strength, and they've used everyone, not just Allison Jacobs and not just Dimitrishi, but everyone's gotten involved. You got to be able to return a few of these volleys.
Big hit from Vesti. Michigan will save it up. And now Iowa yet again. This time, Dom Phils getting in on the action. And Michigan will get the point. Retake their lead. And they will try to see if they can follow the same recipe that worked in set number one. Michigan setting it up for big time outside hitter Allison Jacobs, who just out-muscles these Hawkeye defenders.
We had a little bit of a blip here on the court. Our head official originally put his arm to the side of Iowa, giving the Hawkeyes the point, but corrected his mistake. Obviously, Michigan point there.
And Allison Jacobs really deserved that one. She went 1v2 and came out on top. Now Iowa looking to respond, but Vestie's hit will go right into the top of the net, and Michigan will start on a 3-0 scoring run.
And not good if you're the Hawkeyes, but for Michigan, on these past few points, something to note that we talked about the defense getting back in position, but they've been very aware on offense, reading where the defense is for Iowa right before they send it back over.
Hawkeyes able to answer.
That one, a good read again from the defense this time instead of the awareness on the offense, which we were just mentioning, going up for the block, but was not exactly in the right position, sent it out of play.
Olivia Lombardi will serve it over. Now Michigan battling at the net. Here's a big hit from Jacobs. Off the blocker's hands and out of bounds. Michigan gets it right back.
Almost exactly like Michigan a play ago, where their blocker's a little too far in, not in the exact right position. Same thing for Iowa, a little too far in. That's why they're able to hit the outside of the hand and send it out of play.
And a big ace there for Maddie Cochran. And I got to say, it's still early here in the second set, but it kind of looks like Iowa should be in danger mode right here. They need to answer. They can't let Michigan take these first two sets by blowouts. Iowa sets it up. Gracie Gibson sends it hard, but Michigan able to recover and throw it back over. Now they'll go to Michelle Urquhart, blocked by Michigan. Michelle Urquhart, again, blocked. And Iowa just losing control of it. A diving effort by Claire Amaral, but it won't be enough. Michigan up 7-2.
Joel, I think you're right about danger mode. It almost feels like Iowa's in panic right now because, I mean, sure, there was a back and forth at the beginning of the first set, then Michigan pulls away, and this flows into the second set. So how do you bounce back? Well, right now, it's not looking like it. Michigan's still just completely pulling away still from the first set.
And there's a big answer, looking to get things going. Gracie Gibson with the kill. Iowa is going to need more of that if they want to come back in this one. Gallus serve is returned by Michigan, a big hit. And that's going to be just outside. It was Serena Niembio.
I think the nice thing for Michigan at this point in the year, we talked about top broadcast, middle of the season, 2 midway teams, but Michigan's played in a lot of close games and a lot of games where they've won 3-0, so they've been in every situation and know how to work out of it, whether they're close or pulling away.
And here's Urquhart. Blocked, but not finding the hands of any Wolverines. Point Hawkeyes.
This is exactly what Iowa needs right now if they want to keep it alive in this set. Joy Gallus, exactly who they want to be serving right now to go on a run.
And a big, powerful hit there by Valentina Valle.
Valentina Valle there, squashing maybe the only bit of hope Iowa's had in the past 25, 30 minutes as the game started 40 minutes ago.
Valle put it into a 3-0 scoring run, but the Hawkeyes will answer right back.
Well, a little bit late in that first set. Joel, you asked me what Iowa needs to do to come back against Michigan, and one thing I mentioned was a little bit of efficiency. Worked that ball over a little bit quicker on the volleys, and that's what just happened there on those past few points for Iowa. They've worked a little bit quicker. They've been a little bit more efficient and attacked those open spots on the Michigan defense without letting them recover.
And Michigan, though, getting it right back. We're going back and forth here. It's been very good play by both teams so far. Both teams having to battle back. And Iowa now keeping it close. They're staying within reach. And that's how you start a comeback. You don't let things get out of hand. Now Iowa with a big hit. at the net. Here's Winning Stall, and now it's Urquhart. Blocked, though. He'll be pushed over by the Hawkeyes. Winning Stall. An attack error, so the Wolverines will get the point.
And I'm not even sure Winning Stall was prepared to go for that ball there. Looked like it caught her by surprise as Gibson's done a few different things there. Or apologies, Claire Amaril's done a few different things there on the inside, looking for a lot of assists today, but also trying to shove it over herself.
Urquhart blocked. Big play by Valentina Valle. She has shown up so far this second set.
You mentioned a game of runs, and Michigan has owned the runs pretty much all day so far. I know we're still in the second set. This is huge for Michigan as they're 5-3 in conference play. 6-3 looks a lot better than 5-4 and being one game away from 500.
Dug out there. A battle at the net. Michigan will come out on top. Iowa trying to get it back over, and Urquhart will get that kill. 7-11 now. Advantage Wolverines.
Iowa definitely needed that point, not because they're trying to make a comeback. Obviously, you need points to win, but because they've been shoving their players up to that front line, and Michigan's taken advantage of it every time. They haven't attacked the back row, but they've gotten through the front line. The blockers just haven't been there for Iowa.
Some trickery for Michigan, not going to work. Iowa gets the point on the out-of-bounds hit from Serena Niambio.
And ironically enough, trying to go to that back row there, and what happens when Michigan plays outside of what they're used to, outside of their game, they're going to make mistakes. So good from Iowa there to finally force Michigan to do something different.
Urquhart with the serve for the Hawkeyes. That'll be a big ace. Iowa now within 2.
You can't do anything if you're Michigan there. I mean, you got to tip your hat to Michelle Urquhart there. A perfectly placed ball in the corner for that ace.
That was Iowa's first ace of the day. Big moment to get it. Now Urquhart yet again. Michigan's hit will bounce off the hands of the Hawkeyes and way out of the court. Michigan now leads 12-9.
Yeah, 12-9, still a decent lead here, but as Michigan's making some substitutions, they know they want to pull away even further because Iowa works well in sets that are back and forth, that are really close. They kind of shut down when the other team pulls away, so they want to do this now rather than later.
And a quick hit for the Hawkeyes, Claire Amaral sending it over. Instead of hitting it on the third touch, it was the second touch that got it done for the Hawkeyes.
Claire Amaral, who has 12 assists for the day for the Hawkeyes, getting her second kill there. She knew what she needed to do. Instead of setting up for another outside hit and giving Michigan a chance for that block, she needs to send it over quickly when that middle of the court, especially front line, is wide open.
Really smart play there by Amaral. Now Michigan trying to respond. A couple of big hits there. Iowa able to keep it up, and they will just tap it on over. From the back, Allison Jacobs.
You see, she's been waiting to do that all day. Her 5th kill, that one as a back row attack, and you see the motion there. Her swing, her technique is perfect. That she's got her eyes on the other side of the court, but she knows where her arm is. She knows what time to jump, and that's why it's placed so perfectly for the kill.
A huge spike there from Valentina Valle. She loves hitting with high velocity. And Ella Dimitrišian will get the point in the kill for the Wolverines.
We finally got the most exciting seesaw here of the second set. Iowa gets a point. Michigan gets a point. We'll see what team finally goes on a run, which will ultimately decide this set. I don't think it'll just be back and forth.
Because around this time in the first set where Michigan pulled away, so we'll see what happens here. Dom Phils sending it over for the Hawkeyes. Now Jackie Boney. Jackie Boney yet again for the Wolverines. And she will get that to find the ground. Michigan now up 5. We'll have a timeout here on the floor. Michigan up 15-10. She got a lot of minutes early on in the season, and she looked very good early on. She started to get beat out by some players, got hurt, a little banged up, and now she's back, looking to bring back what she had in the non-con schedule.
Yeah, absolutely, Joel. It's good to see her back out there. As you mentioned, she was a little banged up with an injury. She missed some time, and competing for a pivotal role on this team. She's been phenomenal, but she's got some good competition with her because there's a lot of talent in this Hawkeyes team. Just nice to see her back in competition.
Volley with a powerful serve out of the break in Iowa. Trying to handle it. They'll get it over. Michigan, a push over by Burke, and now setting it up. And another push over there by Amaral. Actually, Michigan kept that up somehow. Dom Phil's looking to finish the job, but Michigan will handle it. And Volley's it. We'll just go out of bounds. Iowa gets the point.
I have no idea how Michigan kept that up, but I know that's an error on Michigan there, but call that the Claire Amaral point of this set where she shoved it over. She had communication. She communicated to Dom Phils there, who flew in, is the only reason that ball was out of position for Michigan. Claire Amaral stepping up there for Iowa.
Michigan pushing it over after the block by Gracie Gibson. Vesey trying to push it over, but blocked by the duo of Ella Dimitrition and Jackie Boney for the Wolverines.
You can't even blame Rosa Vesey there too much. It was just awkward against her body, a little too close. As that ball there from Gracie Gibson, who was a little bit lower, did not have good position. They did not give Rosa Vesey much of a chance to send that one back over.
Thought they saw something and he thought, we're down 5. Maybe we'll give it a shot. We'll see if that flips the momentum. But no, Michigan will get the point, and Ella Dimitrition will serve for the Wolverines. Phils, hit over, picked up by Dimitrition, and the big hit there from Jacobs just into the net. Iowa gets the point.
Well, we mentioned a game of runs, and then, Joel, you mentioned the game of momentum, and the word momentum, and that's what Michigan's, they've been riding that wave of momentum all game. It's been on Michigan's side. No matter the back and forth, Iowa just seems like they're clawing to stay alive in this one.
And the hit from Volley, just a bit out. Iowa gets the point, and there's that momentum, like you said. Got 2 in a row here.
A lot of strength there.
Was just a little too much strength. Iowa bringing it back to within 3. It'll be Olivia Lombardi for the Hawkeyes serving it over. Michigan sets it up for Allison Jacobs. That will be too far as well. And now Iowa within 2.
I think everyone's noticing that Iowa's just slowly climbing back in as the crowd now getting some energy here, picking up on that momentum, potentially shifting if Iowa can tie things up.
And a big hit by Jackie Boney. The answer for the Wolverines.
Answer to the announcer's jinx of the day. I feel like I have at least one. I'll say one every set at this point, but really good hit there from Boney on the outside. Was collective, but still had a lot of strength behind it. Didn't try to do too much, but still made sure she had some force behind the hit.
Rosa Vesey trying to get it over. Be pushed over by Niambio. And blocked by the double team, Morgan Burke and Niambio. Michigan responds with a 2-0 run of their own, if you consider that a run.
It's what Iowa had, a 2-0 run. You can go right back at a 2-0 run to regain your comfortable lead.
Pushed over, but this time Michigan is ready for it. Niambio pushes it up, and Allison Jacobs with the hit. Iowa able to handle it. Urquhart puts it over, but Jacobs trying again. And this time, Iowa won't be able to handle it. A kill for Allison Jacobs.
Michelle Urquhart almost sliding all the way into the scores table here at Extreme Arena. A lot of power and fight there, and that's what you got to give credit to Jim Barnes here in his 3rd season with a team who didn't win a single Big Ten matchup last year. They've already got 3 wins in Big Ten play this year. They're in 11th in the conference, but in a good spot to where they can climb quickly with a few wins. They play Michigan today, obviously. That's in the midst of what we're at. They play Illinois on Sunday. Some teams that they could climb against, but now how do you do that, especially when you're down by a set? You're down by 5 in the 2nd set.
With some of the best of the best, and that's the mentality that I think they need to bring here. And how do you think they can get that done on the court?
Absolutely, Joel. The mentality that would, well, honestly, when you think about how they can bring that on the court, I'm looking at both huddles right now, and you look at Iowa's before they, obviously both teams are breaking right now, but you look at Iowa's, Jim Barnes had his whole team collected, and he's talking to them, and I don't want to say ripping into them, but trying to give them the pumped up a little bit. So on the one side, they need that energy that you were talking about. They need that play. But then you look at Michigan's, they split up in 4 different huddles, almost specializing with their coaches, and then came together as a team before going onto the court. Not that either way is wrong or right, but the different ideas that they need to come out, one with energy and one with playing right.
And there's Iowa getting the point. Gracie Gibson with the kill. Joy Gallus now will be called upon to start a run for the Hawkeyes. Transfer from Arizona. Michigan, Allison Jacobs will send it over, and she will get the kill.
And if you're Jim Barnes there, you got to really, you wish that last point there, and Joy Gallus in your speech was a bit of a spark plug for a team that's short, quick when they get their points, but instead these long, drawn-out volleys, again, continue to give the Wolverines an advantage.
A big block for the Wolverines. Iowa able to handle it, and a good little push over for Claire Amaral. Iowa staying in it, hanging around right now.
And that's all you can wish for if you're a fan, whether you're in attendance, if you're an Iowa fan, a Michigan fan, a volleyball fan. I mean, sure, lots are cool, but you want to see some close competition. You want to get a little intense here at Extreme Arena.
And Markhart's serve will sail way out there. Michigan with the point on the service error for the Hawkeyes.
Well, that's something you cannot afford. We talk about a lot in Iowa's games this past year where they play teams that are notably ranked better than them or seeded higher than them, and you can't afford that when you're playing a team that's supposed to win. And, I mean, either way, close matchup, but Michigan close and play with them. You can't afford that stuff when you're already down by so much and letting Michigan go on runs.
And a winning stall there with the kill. It bounced off Wolverines' hands. And Iowa keeping it within 4, you know. They're right there. Michelle Urquhart serving. Looking to start a run. Good serve there. Michigan able to handle it in a big hit by Niambio. They'll get it back. All Michigan has to do the rest of the way this set is just go 1 for 1. They're all good with that. Iowa is going to have to respond. Mira Chopra. Serve will go over. Iowa handling it. Fills. Big hit. And off the hands of Allison Jacobs. She instantly knows that she made a mistake going for that ball as it was headed out of bounds.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes there on that volley for Michigan overall, and it's something we've highlighted a few times. Michigan has made plenty of mistakes today, despite their big runs, despite their big leads, and despite them being up 1-0 in the sets, but they've made plenty of mistakes. Iowa's just got to find a way to take advantage of those and expose them for it.
Alyssa Warden, her serve will be a little hard to handle, but Michigan will get it. Dom Fills, though, with the layout to save the point. And Iowa trying to keep it up. Dom Fills running into the little baseboard on the net. But Michigan getting the point there.
Thankfully, looks like she's okay, but when you look at Iowa, how do they expose Michigan? It's working quicker and letting them make those mistakes, and when they do, attacking that front line instead of falling backwards and working slower. But Michigan has been exposing this Iowa team all day for the fact they've lost Malou Garcia, and they just really haven't been in the best position, and they haven't had that communication today.
A big serve there from Volley. But it'll be out of bounds, and Iowa will get the point. Their chances here in the second set are dwindling. Michigan at 23, 2 points away from the set victory. Though Iowa keeping it closer in this set, still can make a little run here and save it. A big hit off of Gallus's hands. It's Ella Demetrician with the point. Demetrician will go from the kill to serving with the opportunity to clinch the set for the Wolverines. Iowa sets it up, tapped over by Gibson. Now it's Allison Jacobs. That'll be out of bounds. Iowa point.
I mean, I know it's extremely late in the second set. Iowa's fallen behind the entire time, but we keep talking about needing a rally. I mean, better late than never. If this is the time they get it, it might line up perfectly because, sure, if you get one earlier, you could lose it. If you get one now, could potentially win.
Lombardi, serve will go over. Allison Jacob will end this set. Michigan going back-to-back to start the day, up 2-0 here in this one with the 25-20 set win here in set number 2. Stay with us for set 3 coming up here on Big Ten Plus. Welcome back here to Extreme Arena. Michigan up 2-0 so far today with 2 big wins. Iowa getting a little closer here in set 2, but the story of that set was Allison Jacobs for the Wolverines. She had 7 kills. What did you see from her that set that made her so successful?
I mean, Joe, I saw those 7 kills. She only had 1 in the first set, and then she's coming from not just as an outside hitter, what we talked about at the top of the broadcast. Yeah, sure, she's good in that role, but they used her in the back row a little bit so they could change things up and put Iowa in weird, different spots. They were able to get past that front line that Iowa was using as they kind of shoved their defense up towards the net a little bit more than usual. So what were they able to do with Jacobs is use her in different positions, not just in the outside hitter role, but kind of having those back row attacks so that she could get a few more extra kills and come in unexpectedly away from what the report card usually says.
Michigan will start off by serving Ella Demetrician as they look to complete the sweep. And the third set will be underway. A couple of diving efforts by Iowa. Somehow they will get it over, but it'll land out of bounds, and Michigan will start with the 1-0 lead. Michigan so far today leading in kills by 10. They've got 30, Iowa only 20. But the service error there from Demetrician has been kind of the Wolverines' big issue so far today. Luckily for them, they've been able to overcome some of their errors, but they've had quite a few so far. 4 service errors. Big hit there from Allison Jacobs. That'll land in bounce and a kill for Jacobs, her 9th of the day.
And honestly, kind of an expected point there from Michigan as you look at the track record for Iowa. When they lose the second set, they're only 1-9 on the year. They kind of burn out a little bit quickly when they have that low lead.
And a miss hit from the Hawkeyes. Michigan, an easy point there to go up 3-1.
For Michigan, they just have to continue doing what they're doing because they're playing well. They're playing within themselves. They're calm and composed, and they don't have to be overly verbose or have too much energy to get these points.
Here's Allison Jacobs yet again, finding the back corner this time. Michigan starting off on a 4-1 run. Here's Maddie Cochran for the Wolverines with the serve. Just over the net, bouncing on the top. And Urquhart will get blocked. Big play by the duo, Nambio and Burke.
Talk about runs for Michigan and Iowa all game. Well, Michigan yet again to start off the third set this time. It was a little bit midway through the first set. It was late in the second set. Now coming out quickly in the third set. And maybe just trying to shut things down quickly and get some rest before their next matchup on Sunday.
Yeah, Iowa's going to have to do a lot here to stay in this one. Alyssa Warden will send that into the net.
And, you know, if you're Michigan, you gotta like what you're seeing here and hope this translates into that game on Sunday that I just alluded to, where they play the second-ranked team in the country, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, on the road. That is by far never an easy matchup, especially over in Lincoln.
It'll be a tough one for the Wolverines out there. But they need to finish this one here first. A back-and-forth battle, and Michigan ends up on top. Allison Jacobs again. But Jacobs will get called for the error. Iowa will get the point instead. A late call here. Michigan will challenge that.
Well, the challenge stands with the call on the court. That would squander a 5-0 scoring run for Michigan to start off this third set. Taking a quick look here is, again, Aaron Virtue did not agree with the call. And, I mean, this could be just awful for Iowa because, I mean, obviously giving up runs, not fun. You're going down, not fun. But to get a point finally, your second one in the set, and then it goes to review and can be stripped from you, it's just got to feel like the third set's starting to get stolen from you as well.
That's exactly right. It's early. The challenge will not be successful. So Iowa 6-2, and it's early. And like you said, that was a big challenge there. It was a 5-point lead with Michigan serving. Seems much harder to overcome than a 4-point lead with the ball on Iowa's side.
Yeah, it may just be 1 point, but it feels all that much more momentous.
And there it is, a big ace from Joy Gallus. That's how you stay alive. Here's Gallus looking to do the same. This time Michigan able to handle it. Hit there by Niambio. Iowa puts it back over the net. Back to Niambio. That'll bounce off the Hawkeyes and out of bounds. Wolverines get the point. Morgan Burke with the serve. Sets it up. That hit out of bounds by Jacobs. Back and forth action now.
Starting to be some back and forth, as you mentioned, Joel, but again, Iowa's going to need a point or two here, not because they're down, obviously, you need a point because of that, but because they need to earn a point. They can't just have their points given to them by Michigan. That's not how it's going to work if they want to win this third set and stay alive.
The Hawkeyes hitting that one out of bounds. Wolverines with the point.
Instead of earning a point, they gift a point. I got a service error, the most brutal timing.
Not what you're really looking for when you're trying to come back down 2-0 set-wise and down 3 at that moment. Now down 4. Michigan, the hit there, will just go out of bounds. Iowa now 5-8.
Now we'll see if Alyssa Warden's able to do anything here, as you know, she's coming into these roles often for Iowa. She comes in off the bench, tries to go on a serve, and Iowa's on that rotation now where they know this is their biggest spot.
A big block there, and a winning stall. So, feels like that we haven't said Winning Stall's name in a while, ever since that first set, honestly. And that's a player Iowa needs to get back going if they want to come back here. Here's Warden. Michigan setting it up outside. Demetrician gets it over. Now Iowa pushing it back. Demetrician again. This time, bigger hit. Here on the other side, that'll work. Valentina Valle with the kill. 9-3 Wolverines. And Mira Chopra will serve it up. And a service ace for the Wolverines, Mira Chopra. A big moment for that as the Wolverines look to pull away.
Absolutely, and you can see on Michigan's side, yeah, they've been composed all game, but now they're starting to let loose a little bit, have a little bit more fun as, you know, only a 4-point lead, but they know that this is a spot where they can pull away again and get comfortable here in the third set.
Another good serve there. Iowa able to get it this time. That was the 8th service ace of the day for the Wolverines. And Iowa able to block it, but they will block and the ball will go out of bounds. So point Michigan, and they go up 5. Here's Chopra for the 3rd time. That serve will go just out of bounds by a couple of inches. Iowa giving a gift there.
Yeah, there it is again, Iowa. You're gifted a point. Now what do you do with it? Do you appreciate it? Do you capitalize off it? Or do you just throw it away at the last minute?
Maybe re-gift it.
Re-gift it like I do with every Christmas.
Wolverines trying to put it over, but Iowa hand it. Dom Phils will be blocked. This time, Jackie Boney and Valentina Valle for the Wolverines. An impenetrable wall up front.
Absolutely, you stole the words, Joe. An impenetrable wall there at the front line. Reading things very well on defense, knowing exactly where to be. That time, getting a little bit further outside than they were on a few previous blocks that they missed on.
Volley serve, hard to get. Iowa, though, pushing it over. Claire Amaral with another good little kill. And yet again, Amaral with the kill, and now she's going back to serve. Reaching that a few times for the Hawkeyes.
As they make a substitution, it seems, but Amaral, again, with, as you mentioned, her 4th kill. That ties the lead for this Hawkeye team. That's 4 players now for Iowa with 4 kills, as they've been spreading things out without their star Malou Garcia out on the court.
Jenna Meitzler will serve for the Hawkeyes. Wolverines get it over. Meitzler setting up Dom Phils. Big point there. Big kill for Dom Phils. Hawkeyes bring it to within 3, down 9-12. Here's Meitzler again. And Allison Jacobs. The big kill to shut down this Hawkeye chance at a run. Iowa not able to hand it. Alyssa Warden got a hand on it. Got it over the net, but just out of bounds.
Things just seem flat inside Extreme Arena in front of this Hawkeye crowd on the court. They just seem a little lackadaisical right now. Michigan's still playing with themselves, but Iowa just doesn't seem like they have that impulse to go for a ball or spread out a little bit more. Usually when, you know, they don't give up, but it seems a little different right now.
Ella Demetrician there with the service error. Their 7th of the day now. Michigan hasn't really struggled in any category, really, except for that service error. But they've made up for it very well with all their kills and blocks. Here's Michigan. Valle with the big hit.
And there it is, making up for it with another kill. That's what we've talked about with the mistakes that Michigan's been making. You know, they've been there, they've been obvious, but at the same time, they've found ways to, you know, overlook them, basically overshadow.
So Iowa trying to avoid that to end the month. and they will need to go on a run here.
Contrary, though, for Michigan, though, they're looking for their second sweep in their past 3 matches where they swept Washington, who right before Nebraska swept Iowa, and then lost to Wisconsin in a 3-1 bout, beat Ohio State 3-1 before Washington. So a team that's been used to these bigger wins, minus that Wisconsin game, though, looking for their second sweep.
All right, we're getting it started here. Michigan setting it up. Big hit by Allison Jacobs. Blocked. Michigan trying to keep it alive. Jacobs bumps it over. Now Meitzler sets up Gracie Gibson. Will be returned by Michigan. And now it's Meitzler. Urquhart. Urquhart's going to go out of bounds. But Iowa won Jim Barnes to challenge here for a see if it deflected off a Michigan blocker.
Review here after the Michigan point. I mean, things pulling away. If this one stands, Michigan could be looking very bright and for their 5th sweep of the season. But, I mean, the entire Iowa side here right in front of us, Jim Barnes, all of his assistant coaches, the entire bench, and all those on the court for Iowa immediately believing that ball was tipped and asking for a challenge, and that's why so quickly we're in this review.
Big challenge here. Michigan, as it stands, up 16-10. 15-11 certainly sounds a little more reasonable to come back from, especially now that we're heading into the later stages of this set.
Looks like we're coming out of review now.
The call is off of Michigan Point Hawkeyes. Iowa bringing it to within 4, 11-15.
It seemed like Jim Barnes was almost frustrated he had to pick up that challenge card there because it was so obvious to him. But now the correct call out there, overturned, and Iowa chance to bring it back into within 3.
Joy Gallus will serve for the Hawkeyes. But Iowa, they relied on a slew of outside hitters. They have 4 players with 4 kills. An whole team effort, and it will have to continue to be if they want to come back. Big hit from Valet, a diving effort from Gallus to keep it alive. But Allison Jacobs will clean up the mess and send it home. Morgan Burke now will be back for the Wolverines, serving, cradling a 5-point lead. Big block by the Wolverines, Serena Nyambio. Be a Point Hawkeyes, actually. That went out of bounds.
We have an attack error at the net there by Michigan, getting a little bit too close on that block, a little too antsy coming up. As I was going to say, they read that one very well. Whittingstall was going right into him. They were trying to use that strength and momentum to force a point, but it said Michigan right there, but a little too antsy on that.
A little too excited, but that's all right. Michigan looking to come back from it. The hit will go out of bounds. Iowa with the point, bringing it back to within 3 now. Just inching closer and closer over the past couple of points of the Hawkeyes.
Joy Gallus had to almost pop up before she fell over as that ball hit out of bounds right before hitting her. It was a little close and could have been a free point there for the Wolverines.
The Wolverines will answer. Nyambio with the kill. And now Allison Jacobs will be serving for the Wolverines, up 17-14. Big hit. Off the hands of the Wolverines. Hannah Whittingstall with the kill. Iowa gets it right back.
Now still middle of the set. Last true confidence of a chance here for Iowa, because if they give it right back, I just would have a feeling Michigan would be in the driver's seat for the 3rd set and match win.
And Michigan will get that point. A big play. Ella Demetrician, the freshman, with the kill.
Well, I would say Michigan's in the driver's seat now. I mean, they've been in the driver's seat all third set, pretty much the entire second set, but at this point you're up by 4, only need 7 more points to win the match. You've pretty much been right there, so you haven't given up much of a leash on your lead.
Chopra with the serve. Iowa sets it up for Whittingstall. Whittingstall with a big hit.
Now, it can be back and forth. Iowa can get that point there, but I'm still riding with Michigan in the driver's seat here because, I mean, they've had a good point there. They had some energy on that hit, but Henning Whittingstall also had energy on a hit that went right into the front line for Michigan. Of course, there was an attack error on that just a few hits ago, but the plays in between that, the plays before that have just been a little bland.
See what happens here is Whittingstall gets the serve over, and she digs it out. Iowa pushes it back over. Michigan sets up the spike. That's too much to handle for the Hawkeyes. Michigan up 19-15 now.
Total miscommunication there as Hannah Whittingstall thought someone was closer to her than what she thought, but she was pretty much alone in that back left corner. Instead, tried moving out of the way and still hitting it, playing a little bit of some Olay there with the ball.
A wallet will send it over the line. Iowa point on the service error. Yet another one. That's number 10 for the Wolverines.
Usually you never give anyone credit for a service error, but I'm going to give Michelle Urquhart for Iowa some credit as she very swiftly dove out of the way, and I think it was about an inch from the top of her head before going out of bounds. It could have hit her, and that would have been a point for Michigan, 100%.
Definitely a heads-up play there. Michigan now. Dallas with the diving effort. And set up Meitzler to Phils, and now Michigan. Send it over. Meitzler to Urquhart. Michigan able to keep it in play. Set up for Jacobs. The kill. Here we go, back and forth in this one.
As from Jacobs there, she's climbed quickly after that slow first set. Her 14th kill of the day, which not only leads the Wolverines, but leads this match in total.
Meitzler up. After the block, Dom Phils will try and save it, but that ball will go out of bounds. Wolverines now up 21-16. And a timeout for the Hawkeyes as they look to make a late comeback and stay alive. And we're back here at Extreme Arena here in the final stretch of this third set as Michigan looks to complete the sweep and the Hawkeyes look to stay alive. Michigan up 21-16, mainly on the back of Allison Jacobs with 14 kills and 2 blocks. The serve handled by Gallus. Sent up to Phils. Meitzler will send it up to Gibson, and Gibson sends it home to the Hawkeyes.
Really important to come out of a timeout, regroup, have your game plan out for that first point specifically, and then, of course, carrying on from there. But that first point specifically so you can set up for the rest of your game plan. Huge there, especially down to try to keep this match alive.
Allison Jacobs hit will fall down for the kill. Hawkeyes able to get a hand on it, but the ball was dropped after the block. It'll be Maddie Cochran now for the Wolverines, up 22-17. Dallas will dig it out. Send over to Urquhart. The block will fall out of bounds, and Iowa staying alive. But Michigan, they're certainly okay with this back and forth play that's happening right now.
Absolutely, because if it stays back and forth, well, Michigan, I mean, knowing how math works, Michigan's going to reach that 25 before Iowa does, and not within 2.
And a big hit from Volley will be too much for the Hawkeyes to handle. They'll get it right back.
Isn't Too Hot to Handle a TV show?
It is. It is.
I've
Netflix
never,
special.
I don't even know what it is, but.
And another serve there. An ace for the Wolverines. That'll be their 10th of the day.
Shouldn't know if that was a reference. But still,
It didn't mean to be.
looking good for Michigan. They're going to continue on this wave.
Morgan serve will be over. Iowa looking to stay alive, but Urquhart's hit will go into the net, and the Wolverines will complete the sweep today, winning this final set 25-18. They held control for most of the day. And what did you see from the Wolverines to shut down the Hawkeyes?
I mean, they played within themselves. Iowa had to play a few different games today. Of course, they were without Malou.